Welcome again, everyone. Jerry's Old Guy Review. And for those of you who have been reading in the comments lately, you might have known this was coming. Today, we are going to talk about the Redcat Marksman. And Audrey will be in the way again. And everyone, let me apologize again. Since Audrey has had her babies, she was always my dog. Now, for some reason, she is stuck to me. And she is just going to be, there's Yowie's going to be in the way. Everyone's going to be in the way. Audrey, move. Come here. Come here. Right now. Stay over here with me. Sit down with me. Sit right here. So, Mr. CC has got me back on my Redcats. We pulled out the Gen 8, which in turn caused him to pull out his Gen 8, which I'm going to admit, it is one of the purple ones, and it is gorgeous. But it also made me pull out my Wendigo, Canadian Forest Smith. Or real. You don't know. So, he also recommended that I look into the Ascent Fusion, which I started perusing around. Now, if you go by one of my favorite channels to listen to while I'm wrenching, Mr. Crawler Canyon, it is a huge piece of garbage. The regular Fusion, I haven't seen that he's done the Fusion or the Ascent. He did the Ascent, not the Fusion Ascent. Now, first of all, I thought it was pretty cool, even if it needs some wrenching. There's a lot of people that are coming out with some of these low center gravity kits or these competition crawler kits, and you have to do a lot of work to them. Now, it's not the cheapest thing, but, I think, I want to get into a low center of gravity kit, and I think it's a good option. So I started perusing. Now, I've had the Gen 8 V2 since the V2 came out. Then, because I really liked the V2, I decided I was going to get into the craze when it came out of these rock bouncers or whatever they're called. And yep, I'm not even fighting it anymore. There are way too many bodies around, and I'm just rolling with it. So I decided to get on this rock bouncing phase. And I thought I'd rather build a kit. And A-Main had the Wendigo on sale. And of course, it was a kit, and I got to build it, and I got to paint it, and I got to pick out of my electronics to put in it. Which I chose a 5400 kV motor brushless system from Hobby Wing, and that thing is way too fast, way too crazy. So I decided to pull it out and to go over it. So I did, and now I put some thicker shock oil in it. It's got sway bar links front and rear. So we're gonna get to it after I rip it around a little bit more. I ripped it around last night, and that was before I gave it a complete overhaul. So got a complete overhaul. It's ready to go. But we're gonna talk about the Marksman. And as I was like, you know what? It's all stock. I haven't really done anything with it. Let me perusal around for some Redcat things. And of course, yes, this truck is not perfect. And everyone knows all RC vehicles suffer somewhere. There is something that somebody is not going to like. And for what this was advertised, the Marksman is just as crazy. It's got Holmes Hobbies electronics. It's got hobby wing in it. I mean, where can you go wrong? The price was relatively low. And, you know, they list it as an 8th scale, but as we all know, Redcat doesn't really know what scale is. But as I was perusing, again, they are junk. The Marksman's junk. All the Marksman is a Gen 8 with another body on it. Or, for those that don't know the Gen 8, it's a Wendigo with a different body on it. So, if you read the complaints on Redcat, all 3 of these vehicles are exactly the same. All 3 vehicles share a base. The Wendigo and the Marksman have the same axles in them, but all 3 of them have pieces from the Gen 8 in them, but they are completely different vehicles. You've got a rock crawler, you got a rock bouncer, you've got a 1/8 scale that's a little bit of both. And that is what chaps me, is the people who hate Redcat are so diehard that they're going to take 3 of their vehicles, lump them in together, say they're the same exact thing. Meanwhile, I'm pretty sure that's how you run a line of vehicles. So keeping in that motif, let's look at these 3 exactly the same vehicles. And then we're going to roll over, and now we're going to point the finger at Axial. Because you know what? Those are both SCX 10-2s. They are exactly the same vehicle, if we go by the internet standard. And then we're going to go to Traxxas, because those are 2 TRX4s. They are exactly the same, using internet logic. Those 2 vehicles, that is a TRX4 that I put the lift kit and 2 2s on, and that is a TRX6. Even though it's a TRX6, the internet would have you believe that they are the exact same vehicle. And I could have did it with the Phoenix and the Fordyce, you know, but I just didn't want to be ridiculous. So, there's a bit of a rant, because, you know, I don't want this vehicle in particular to be shunned. And while we do it, we're going to talk. You know, all Redcats have Mod 1 gears in them, which are die-hard gears. Those are big, beefy, metal. They are fabulous. But meanwhile, they would have you believe that this is just a Gen 8 rebadged. You know, my Gen 8, I do totally different things with. Yeah, this thing's wide. Steering radius is horrible, which is funny because the Wendigo steering is too, look at it go. It is too precise. I've had to dial it out because that truck is just so fast. But meanwhile, you whip some dual rate into that front end on the Wendigo, which is exactly the same, you know, according to the internet. It's exactly the same as the Marksman. But meanwhile, I have to tune in all the steering I can get for the Marksman. But meanwhile, the Wendigo, I have to tune it out of. Crazy. So, we're just going to keep driving around because I want to get Mr. CC out here. I want him to get his Marksman out to go play with his Gen 8. Oh, let's swing it around some more. We were a little high. Now, this truck, in general, I've had 2 days of storms and rain, and my tires are wet. They're wet and muddy right now, but we got right over it. This truck has a longer wheelbase. It has a longer chassis. You know, this would be a superb candidate for any kind of, you know, big build. You want to build something really big. It's a good basis, and it's not, I don't even know what it looks like back there. I know it's hung up on something. Oh. Be a good basis for a big build. I would, you know what? I'm thinking of this right now, and I'm not. It's big. It's creepy crawly. We can creepy crawly it. Let's slow finger it. Let me see something real quick, because I just got a crazy idea. Come here, you truck. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I don't think I can. Ooh, I do have to tweak that front suspension a little bit. No, I was thinking this would be awesome for, say, a six-wheeler. But the trouble with the six-wheelers now is we used to be able to get the SCX-10, or the original SCX-10 was perfect. If you wanted to build, I've got one in the garage. Excellent build for a six-wheeler. Oh, there's a squirrel in the perimeter. Oh, got a little heavy fingered on that one. Oh, my rocks! See, my rocks are just coming apart. Too many bodies. And you know what's funny is that they made this body with the paint on the outside and the red on the inside, and I've scratched the crap out of it. But it's so thick of a paint job, no matter what I do, it hasn't scratched through yet. The worst scratch through I got was from shipping. But this truck right here, let's just back up. We got all these bodies. And of course, so Audrey's going to be in the way. Audrey, get. I mean, it's no speed demon, not like the Wendigo, but it's still pretty peppy for a crawler. And it is. I mean, that is what it is. It is a big crawler. And if you're old like me, you appreciate a big crawler for wrenching on. You know, my internet YouTube buddy toe shifter just got done doing a 124 VW bug. Oh, it just killed my hands and my eyes watching him work on it. It's just so tiny. That's why I've got two of them, and you never see them out here because I don't want them to break. And see, this truck, it is big. No portals, straight axle. Audrey, get out of the way. And as you can see, because it's big and wide, it's very stable. Let's see if we can get it. Let's see if we can. Oh, went too far. Now we're rubbing. Let's see if we can get over here. Let's see if we can take that one edge that caught the Fordyce and make it flip. There we go. Look, I had to just basically make it fall off. Oh, and it's back with its entourage. Let's move her over here. Let's see how close we can. Let's move her down a little bit. Yeah, everybody thinks they need to be out here with me now. We had to rake. Oh, actually, I see that I have to pick up more rocks or more sticks. I don't know how I have any trees left with all these storms and all the branches I clean up. I don't understand how my trees have anything left. Now look at that creep. Oh, and the truck too. That little creep over there. Oh. Ah. Again, no scratches. Now, I'm sorry if this was a bit ranty at first, but like I said, you know, if you buy the Gen 8, or actually, and you know, none of you guys let me know in the comments after the last video, does anyone have a Gen 9? A Gen 8 and a Gen 9 to let me know what the differences are? I mean, I think I've watched a video on it at some point when it first came out. And I mean, I like the international body. I'm doing it again. You might have got it in the corner. Does anyone have both of them to let me know, you know, if there's any big differences in them? Look at that. That is the pumpkin straight hung up. And at some point, though, I will admit that they really need license or not. Wow, how did this become a video about you? You know, these Interco tires, I don't know. I'm not a fan of them. The Super Swamper versions, they're a really different than my RC four-wheel drive Super Swampers, but I mean, like right now, I'm trying to clean them off on the rocks, and they just pick up more mud. It's like a Carlisle tire on a four-wheeler, the cheapest tire you can buy. Yeah, look at it. If you can see that in there. I mean, there's just not enough tread on them. Ooh, what do I got? A fog light full of mud. Nice. But this truck here, this goes again where I talk about trucks in the winter up here in Alaska. This truck, with its power, with its ability, it just goes through the snow. Even with those tires. For some reason, those tires hook up great in the snow. And for me up here, I know a lot, you know, tires are dependent on your climate. And these tires just seem to hook up really good. Even, you know, you're looking at it on the rocks right now. And it does fairly good on the rocks, which is, you know, better than you'd expect out of a Super Swamper. Even though these ones aren't listed as Super Swampers. Wow. Look at the crap that fell again. Hold on a minute. Wow. This is just all the crap that fell on the rocks since I was home at lunch. And I cleaned up the whole joint. I've got it. We're going to try this again without the falling off. And I'm not even going to move the camera to what four-legged deals are going on right now. There, they move, so somehow my bridge became a very popular dog destination. So I probably should have zoomed into it. You can watch it in the video. You can zoom in on that part, but that is smooth. Look at that. That to me was, you know, Holmes Hobby motor. And let me get this mud off. It's driving me insane. Oh, I got mud. Never mind. Okay. Hobby Wing, Holmes Hobby. For Mod 1 gears. Yeah, they're loud. That turning action is weird. You can hear how it puts a load. Oh, there's a whole thing going on in the background. I mean, now that's fun. I really like doing that sometimes. That is one of my extreme shock tests. Audrey, move it. You want to put your shocks to a workout, you do it on a crawler area. Oh, wait a minute. Let me go break some action up over here underneath the bridge. Oh, if I can not get stuck on a rock. Oh, it's the cleaning service. Getting rid of the weeds. I guess I should try to zoom this sucker out and just let it have a party. I guess. Wait a minute. I'm cleaning up the big area so we can get this Wendigo out. Why are you tearing up my RC course back there, you? Hey, you. Product. And see, this is a perfect test. Now when I'm done and I can take it in the house after it's sat for a few minutes, then I can see how good my shocks are. Meanwhile, this truck has given me 0 hiccups. I haven't fixed anything on it. Nothing's broken. I'll give it a check out again when we get done with this video. And I will follow up, you know, did we find anything wrong with it? Which I'm going to probably say is a big negative. And that's my thing with Redcat. My Redcats, durability-wise, well, I can't say that. But I have a Gen 7. And I bought it for my granddaughter. You can go back and see some of the videos on it. It's pink, so you'll know which ones it's in it. Now, oh, I don't even remember how young she was at the time. But I have a pretty big back 40 here. But it's not 40, but you know, it's pretty big. And it's got a lot of trees in it. And I will tell you that she had damn near hit every tree back here with that thing. And except for me finding a tuning secret on it, I haven't. Nothing broke on it. What better testament to a truck is there than I gave it to a child and just gave them as many batteries as they wanted to run through it. I mean, that is a testament. And you know, I don't know who built the Gen 7 for Redcat. I know who designed the Gen 8, which that was the beginning of their, you know, designed in the USA. You know, nobody makes their trucks in the United States. So I'd be straight up lying if I even told you that. But nobody can look you in the face. They can on the internet. Nobody can look you in the face and say that right now Redcat does not have some of the most innovative vehicles on the market. I mean, who thought lowriding would be a thing? But I mean, you got to be the first in something. You know, look at... God dang it, you're horrible. That is little Miss Morgan. Ugh, knocking my drink over. Get out of here, you little monster. You've got to be the first. You look at, you know, going back RC10, Team Associated, back when it was Team Associated, the real thing. You know, everything they made was innovative. You know, and then here's a statement that everyone will blow up on me on the internet, is Traxxas. You know, nobody wants to say it, and everybody wants to say that Ready to Run is, you know, horrible thing and blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, you know, it gets a lot of people's feet in the door. I'm trying to clean up my table that Miss Morgan just made a huge mess on. Traxxas has had a huge list of innovations, and yes, they sue everybody, but you know what? When you've got the money and you want to protect what you have invented, yeah, I'm sorry if the other companies don't have enough money and didn't want to do it. They all protect their intellectual property. Maybe just Traxxas puts theirs out there more. But you look at the lowriders who nobody thinks they want a lowrider. You know, I don't want a lowrider. I wouldn't even imagine, to me, driving that lowrider and making it do... Wait, hold on 1 second. Jeez, you guys. What a freaking mess you made. Get out of there. Oh, my God. You know, who thought they needed a lowrider? I know I don't, because to me, I think driving one of these lowriders and making it do all of its bouncing and doing all that kind of stuff, man, that reminds me of trying to fly a helicopter. But people love them, and it's getting people into the hobby. It's getting people with ideas and people innovating new things. I'll tell you, now that I've got my trails all fixed, I never thought I wanted one, but I want that car carrier they make. You know, the Traxxas one is a lot more useful. It has a lot more, you know, it's 4-wheel drive. It's really a pain to try to load anything on it, but meanwhile, you know, you can do more with it. The Redcat one you can't do as much with, but hey, it is friggin' really cool. I mean, you get to take it apart right off the bat if you want to make it low and do its thing. You know, and you get to put all the parts in it. You get to learn about that vehicle. That to me is cool. You know, they could make an option where it's all together, but then it's going to be more expensive. Get out of here. Oh my Lord. Baby Jesus up in heaven, blah, blah, blah. You know, I would rather you make something and you sell it to me for bare bones, and then give me the options, and I can add stuff onto it as I go. What is going on now? Yowie, get your children out of here. Like I said, so let me know in the comments if you are. Well, you're probably not. If you're here, you've seen a bunch of Redcat. And I haven't had a lot of, I probably had 0 Redcat bash in here. And that's the joy on this channel, is everything is welcome. And Redcat, I don't even waste my time getting in the arguments. This truck, I really like, eventually down the road, because that's what I do. I don't go out and buy the newest fad all the time. I go out, buy what I like, and then I keep it for a while. And man, I need to sell some stuff. But I am so attached to stuff, because everything I've put my own touches on. Frankie put me to a good task. He wants me he wants to see a video of a truck that I liked the least that I've made better. And now I really like it. I don't buy anything until I've researched it. And it's not generally listening to anything somebody else says. It's reading different people's opinion of it. I started out in the days where you got a magazine. I've still got the original magazine, RC Car Action, where I made the decision to buy the original Emax. And it was a big, long article, because that was a vehicle that had not been seen at that point. Similar in gas, but never in electric. And I think if somebody else, I think that we've just got to figure out a way to include a bigger scale in a crawling competitions, 8 scales. Bring something like this to the mainstream where there was some competition. Now, I will tell you what has put a huge hindrance on some of the manufacturers we all loved was Horizon Hobbies. Horizon Hobbies refuses to make Axial, for example. Axial has some great rigs from back in the day. The SCX-10-2 was one of the best chassis for making builds. Any kind of build you wanted. You wanted to build, as you saw earlier over there, that big orange truck was an SCX-10-2 with a big suspension lift on it, dropped the transmission down, raised everything up so you can make a big mud truck out of it. You get stuff like that from Traxxas. And there you go. People will rag on the fact that, hey, guess what? I want to make a truck that's big and beefy. It's not going to be a crawler at this point. It's going to be a custom build. You can still do that with the Traxxas. The SCX-10-3, what is there for it to do any kind of modifications? And you want to talk about a truck that is the exact same through its whole line. All it does is literally have different bodies and tires. And nothing wrong with that. That is the way things used to always be. But now, when Redcat takes that above and beyond, they're horrible. They're just selling cheap crap and just making the same thing with a different body on it. And unfortunately, hey, Mr. CC, Carissa Crawlers, you opened up a can of worms. And I hope you're pleased with yourself, because I sure am. It was good to get the Marksman out, the Gen 8 out again, and the Wendigo out. 3 trucks that I am intimately familiar with, from tearing them up, tearing them down. They have performed flawlessly for what I use them for. And what more in RC can you hope for? To have a good time with your product. And I'm going to thank all of you guys for liking the new summer forum. I think we're going to end up having to do this every year, where we come out here, we talk about rigs, I get to drive around, get eaten by mosquitoes, and attacked by dogs, and share an evening with you, or an afternoon, or a morning, just depending on what we've talked about in the comments. Did you get me worked up? Which it's been, this is not worked up by anything by the vehicle or you guys. It is the way things that aren't mainstream can get talked about. I mean, Redcat used to be dogged on constantly until the Gen 8 came out. Now we're getting quality products like this, designed in America, and a customer service that is second to none. You reach out to them, you get an answer, you have a problem, they fix it. So thank you, Redcat. Thank you, Mr. CC. And I will talk to you on the next one.